This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, teachers and supporters rally in support of those affected by the COVID-19 vaccine mandates. It's 100 years since the country's first radio broadcast was made from Dunedin. And a local company has come up with a frozen treat for man's best friend. Tēnā koutou katoa, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. Vaccination mandates have come into force with unvaccinated education staff among those not allowed into their workplaces if they haven't received at least one dose. A small Mosgiel school has lost half its staff due to the mandate, and Tapanui Primary School teacher Christine Livingston is another teacher no longer allowed onto her school's site. This week, protesters rallied in Central Gore to show their support for these teachers.
Christine Livingston believes she is being fired. The Tapanui Primary School teacher claims she is being forced out of her job in the education sector for not wanting to receive the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. Livingston and others in a similar situation had the support of around 100 nurses, teachers and farmers at a rally in Gore yesterday.
We love the teachers, and we love our teachers whether they're vaccinated or unvaccinated. They should be allowed on the property.
The government's vaccination mandates kicked in today, meaning no unvaccinated staff or volunteers are allowed on school or early childhood education grounds. Livingston wants to be able to continue to work as a teacher and to choose whether or not to have the vaccine.
I believe it's my right, it's my human right to say no. If I was in chemotherapy, I would have the right to say no to the chemotherapy. So I'm taking my right, my human right to say no, I don't want this particular medical intervention.
The mandates for educators are largely supported by the sector and unions. The government says they're in place because children can't be vaccinated, so those eligible need to be. Health experts say vaccinated people are less likely to catch and spread the virus, reducing the number of COVID-19 cases in communities.
You know, it's my body and I get to choose that. Over all the years of all the other vaccinations, I have had the other vaccinations, I've been a follower of the rules, and this time round it just doesn't feel right for me to take this vaccine when I'm perfectly healthy.
It's still unclear how many schools across the South Island are short-staffed due to the mandate rules and to what extent, with the Minister of Education assessing just 4 applications for exemptions to the mandates. In South Otago, The South Today.
Dunedin City Council's Food Bank Challenge has been well and truly met, with the DCC staff organisations across the city rallying to donate more than 2,500 items. The large stash of food items to fill the shelves were donated by council staff via an international food drive which began 2 weeks ago.
That will get us through to Christmas, and 2 weeks ago I didn't know how we were going to get through the week, so that's amazing.
St Vincent de Paul Centre and Pastoral Coordinator Sarah Strang says today's donation from council staff is an extraordinary effort. Council staff behind the food drive challenged other major Dunedin employers to coordinate donations of their own to support the city's food banks. The University of Otago, Southern DHB, Otago Regional Council and many others have risen to the challenge. It's 100 years since New Zealand's first radio broadcast was sent out from Dunedin. It was one late November day in 1921 that a Scottish Dunedin physicist experimented with radio, making broadcasting history in the process.
The microphone on which broadcasting history was made in Dunedin 100 years ago.
Professor Jack made his first in a series of broadcasts on the 17th of November 1921, and then he stopped his experiments at the start of 1922.
Toitu Otago Settlers Museum curator Peter Reid says Prof Jack made the first voice and music radio broadcast in this country, helping bring public radio stations to New Zealand. His original radio transmitter is still owned by the Otago University and on loan to the Settlers Museum. Associate Professor of Physics Harold Scheifel says Professor Jack's successful experiment shone a light on radio communication.
I think it really showed us that communication over a far distance through radio waves was possible, and I think it really got a start in a certain way by this tragic incident of the Titanic, which sent the first basically radio signal as a SOS distress call. And so people realized that communicating over the air is something really, really useful and powerful.
Professor Robert Jack came to New Zealand in 1914, taking up a post as Professor of Physics at the University of Otago. After World War I, Prof Jack returned to the UK where his brother lived, before the pair returned to New Zealand with some state-of-the-art radio equipment.
It certainly was a catalyst to what came after, and we all know how important radio became to New Zealand.
By the 1930s, Dunedin had several public radio stations, twice as many as any other city in the country. The station Professor Jack founded in 1922 is today called Radio Dunedin, and is the oldest station outside of North America. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin police have detained and released a furry pest they've dubbed the Blacks Road Ripper. A distressed woman called police on Sunday night to say she was being held hostage in her North Dunedin home. The offender terrorising her was actually an aggressive baby possum that looked a little like this. The marsupial chased after her as she was unloading the car, causing the woman to flee into her house. Police say whenever the student tried to leave to reach her car, the aggravated possum would charge at her. Officers were finally able to detain the fluffy creature, taking it further up Signal Hill to be released into the wild. As summer heats up, so does our love affair with ice cream. New Zealanders are amongst the biggest eaters of ice cream in the world, enjoying around 28 litres per year. And now a Dunedin company has come up with a special version designed as a reward for man's best friend.
A frozen treat that's just too cool for humans. This is Scoop Dog ice cream, a special frozen dessert product developed specifically for our canine friends.
Well, humans are notorious for giving dogs their food, which isn't good for them.
Ice cream can help dogs cool down on a hot day, but regular versions aren't good for our pooches. So the team spent 6 months working with a food producer to develop a dog-friendly alternative, replacing sugar with natural honey powder, and the main ingredient,
It's goat's milk rather than cow's milk, so it's easier for them to digest.
And as for the flavours, well, there's no lamb or beef just yet, but there is one variety you won't have seen in your local ice cream parlour.
So we've got bacon, which is a classic for dogs, and then our other flavours mimic human flavours, so we've got vanilla, banana, carob, which is the dog equivalent of chocolate, and we've just released gingerbread for Christmas.
Humans can eat the product, although it's not designed for them, especially with some of the future flavour options.
We have been asked for roadkill, so watch this space.
The Dunedin company launched their doggy ice cream earlier this month in pet supply stores and online retailers. And there's one important difference that means this ice cream can be couriered around the country.
So we've come up with a dry mix. When it gets to your house, you add water, you mix it with an egg beater or one of your handheld mixers, and you pop it in the freezer, and in about 5 hours' time it's ready.
The frozen product's been lapped up by every four-legged taste tester so far, and while there's plenty of meat treats available for man's best friend, Kennedy is confident Scoop Dog ice cream has found a sweet spot in the Kiwi market. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Whaiaki Nei still to come on the South Today. New data reveals a change to Southern operation numbers, and Wanaka residents celebrate a newly sealed road. See you soon.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep on lifting.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
I think the best thing about it is we're all there to ride safely and deliver that message to, some of the kids that are out there, hopefully showcase that riders and drivers can integrate together. So yeah, it's just being part of sharing that message really of riding safely when you're out on the road.
Mainor, welcome back. It's been revealed more than 3,000 operations and appointments were cancelled due to August's alert level 4 lockdown. Figures released to the National Party Health spokesperson Shane Retty show the Southern District Health Board cancelled 3,400 operations or appointments. The Southern DHB carried out 5.5% fewer planned surgeries than budgeted due to the level 4 lockdown. Chief Operating Officer Hamish Brown says the DHB has been attempting to catch up on its backlog of procedures since August. However, several factors are affecting the catch-up process, including the availability of staff. A historic fire engine carried out a ceremonial drive past Dunedin Central Fire Station this afternoon to honour a stalwart of the New Zealand Fire Service. The historic engine carried the casket of Barrett Gibson, a popular character across the region. He retired in 2013 as the East Otago Fire Risk Management Officer after a 41-year career in the fire service. Gibson started working as a full-time firefighter in Dunedin in the early 70s. He spent around 3/4 of his life on call or doing shift work serving the country's fire service. Wanaka residents are looking forward to using the newly sealed road, which has been a common source of distress. Valentine Road has been in dire need of an upgrade for a long time, with advocates finally able to drive on the road as a result of their hard work.
This newly sealed road's been a long time coming. Valentine Road, which links Wanaka with State Highway 6 near the airport, has been the focus of debates for decades. A number of accidents and vehicle crashes over the years have been linked to the poor condition of what was a partly sealed road. More than $6 million was spent to upgrade the road, making locals very happy.
Well, we're delighted to have Valentine Road sealed now as an alternative access into Wanaka for a lot of the heavy traffic. It may alleviate what's happening on the main road, and that's a good thing.
A coroner's report recommended the road be sealed after a fatal crash which killed 17-year-old Jackson James Aitchison in 2016. Residents have been lobbying for a long time, with dust, poor visibility and uneven road surfaces impacting drivers. all factors which may have contributed to Aitchison's death.
This is the culmination of a lot of work from committees prior to my involvement, mounting up to some 20 years that we've been trying to get this project done.
And there's more improvements to come, with the Queenstown Lakes District Council and NZTA now working together on the intersection design for Valentine and Riverbank roads. In Wanaka, the South Today.
A flagpole in the deep south erected to honour sons who were killed during the Battle of the Somme has been moved. The memorial flagpole can be seen here being carefully carried down Bluff Hill by volunteers to Te Araha Marae. The pole was crafted and erected by Alexander Mackenzie. He made it for his wife Beatrice so she could look out of her kitchen window and remember her fallen sons. Both young men died on the same day in World War I during the Battle of the Somme. The pole will be placed just metres away from the marae at the War Memorial Whare until it's decided where it will be permanently housed. After the break on the South Today, Central Cantabrians campaign to keep their roads safe for all types of motorists, and we have your midweek weather. Hea koko ake nei.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Just plan your route a little bit, choose nice and quiet roads. In the winter, it's always nice to ride north and south. That way you get the driest route and less likely to hit black ice.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hey, what have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent. Love it. Chicks World. Chicks World. Right.
Hoki mai noa. Two horror motorcycle fatalities in central Canterbury recently have highlighted how vulnerable motorcyclists are on our roads. Riders are 21 times more likely to be killed or seriously injured in a crash than car motorists. In response, the Selwyn District Council has launched a major campaign to raise awareness of motorcyclists ahead of the summer riding season.
Nigel Ranson has one very good reason why people should heed motorcycle safety messages. His brother Mike was killed recently in a head-on crash on the Rakaya Bridge.
He's a good man, good father.
good grandfather to his kids and grandkids and stuff. Good brother. Yeah, he'd give you the shirt off his back, help you out with whatever you needed. He loved his motorbike. He probably rode the most out of all of us.
His 52-year-old brother was riding his motorbike from his home in Christchurch to Ashburton when he collided with a truck.
As far as we know, he's tried to pass on the bridge, which is stupid, and I don't know whether he just didn't look at the size of the line of cars he was trying to pass, but there was, by the time he got to where he was, there was just nowhere for him to go. He couldn't go back in, he couldn't go to the other side. It's just a stupid mistake.
There have been 66 crashes involving motorcycles in the Selwyn district since 2017. Of these, 33 were serious accidents and 5 were fatal. To try and make motorists and motorcyclists more aware of the hazards, the Selwyn District Council has launched a motorcycle safety campaign. It includes a series of videos aimed at educating road users.
We really want to get the message through around looking out for each other on the roads. We want everyone to get where they're going safely, and just by taking the time to slow down and really look out for each other, it can really make the difference.
Ranson believes it's important to get these kinds of safety messages out there.
It's very dangerous on a motorbike out there some days. I've had a few close calls, just people not looking, pulling out. Cars need to look twice for us, but we need to look 3 times for them.
Ranson wants motorists to think twice before attempting passing manoeuvres and be in less of a hurry to reach their destination. In Selwyn, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Tapanui Primary School teacher Christine Livingston says teachers are being forced out by the new vaccination mandates. It's 100 years since the country's first radio broadcast was made from Dunedin by a university physicist. And a local company has come up with a perfect frozen treat for dogs, just in time for summer. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome Deputy Editor Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening. We've got more on the fallout of the vaccine mandate as well. Today we talked with the principal of a small local school. She's refused to be vaccinated, as has another of her staff members, which now means that 2 of the 4 staff are looking after 14 pupils and now only have contact with those pupils. So, yeah, some big difficulties there at the moment. She's refused to be vaccinated because she's got medical concerns about it, and she's described the vaccination order as one of New Zealand's darkest days for New Zealand education. So it's a big call, really. School's determined to continue, and they're looking at ways to carry on with her, perhaps the 2 staff teaching online in the meantime anyway. But yeah, lots of stories across the country over various sectors at the moment about this type of thing at the moment. So it's certainly interesting times. We've got a story about plans for a new private 300-bed student hostel and hotel. Resource consent's been granted on Anzac Ave, and actually work's already started there as well. Talking about 5 multi-storey blocks, 4 of those for students and another's for hotels. Not sure I'd want to be hotelling next to a student accommodation, but each to their own. So yeah, huge development for the city, and I guess when you look at what else is going on with hospitals and that, it's going to be a busy old few years ahead. Fresh food pages out tomorrow. We've got lots of delicious recipes. Something called tender cheese muffins. I'm not sure how you differentiate a tender cheese muffin, but they do look very nice. Just a plug for next week as well for our Fresh Pages. We've got our Christmas Fresh edition out. So it is sneaking up on us. Lots of salivating over it as we've been putting it together over the last few days. So plenty of time to get some inspiration for that Christmas dinner. And it wouldn't be the ODT without some sport, of course. Building up to Saturday's NPC Championship final for Otago, playing Taranaki. So that's exciting. This is the 9th time Otago's appeared in a final, NPC final. So we look back on those earlier matches. Spoiler alert, we've only won one of those games. That was that famous day against Waikato at Carisbrook. Do you remember Carisbrook?
I was there that day.
You were there?
Yep.
You were there? Been carried.
Did I see you in the crowd somewhere?
You probably would have. The beauty was I think you were allowed cans on the terrace in those days too, so that was even better. And just quickly, cricket. The disappointment of the T20 World Cup's over, and the Black Caps are now in India preparing to play their first game on Thursday morning. Just not so long ago, Kane Williamson will miss the T20 series to focus on the Test cricket. So, given his dodgy arm, it's probably not a bad option. So,
great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, the cold southwesterly airstream eases tomorrow with showers slowly clearing from most parts, and then the weather should stay fine for the rest of the week. Although showers linger as we head to the northwest, 16 degrees and rain for both centres. To the northeast, showers too for Nelson on 18 degrees, while Blenheim sees a sunny 20. And it's mixed on the Canterbury coast, only cloud for Christchurch, although it's raining either side. Kaikoura reaches 17, Christchurch and Ashburton 18 degrees. Early showers clear down south and 14 degrees for all centres. Over to Central, it's the same story. In Te Anau 14 degrees and showers clearing, while it's fine everywhere else. Queenstown reaching 15 degrees, Wanaka and Alexandra 16. Further north, it's a fine day inland. Twizel and Marama both reaching 15 degrees, while it's overcast on the coast. Oamaru risking showers on 14, Timaru on 15 degrees. In Dunedin, showers are possible tonight with an overnight low of 10. You should expect rain throughout tomorrow, carried by cool west to southwest winds, a high of 14 and a low of 9. That breaks on Thursday as sunny periods develop and cool southwesterlies die out, a high of 16 and a low of 8. And Invercargill can expect showers tonight with an overnight low of 8 degrees. Frequent showers tomorrow here too, a high of 12 and a low of 7. And those showers clear on Thursday as southwesterlies decrease during the day, a high of 14 and a low of 7 degrees. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe to be notified of that southern news as it happens. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.